So these are my next set of League 2 predictions for this weekend. So starting off then with Accrington versus Newport. Newport obviously suffered yet another defeat at home to Swindon, which ended 1-0 to Swindon. And Accrington suffered a 2-0 away defeat away to Barnet. And then it's a big 6-pointer in terms of where they're some for League 2, in terms of battle for survival in League 2. Very worrying for Newport, isn't it? It's very worrying for Newport. You'd probably have more confidence in Accrington than Newport in terms of staying up, if I'm being honest with you. Accrington still look like they still got something, haven't they? While Newport, as I say, you have the quality. You have the quality in that Newport squad, really is. And my prediction, I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Accrington Stanley at home. Who are they, Saki? That famous advert. Up next, Bristol Rovers vs MK Dons. MK Dons obviously picked up a 3-2 win over, currently manager Sternum at the moment because of what's happened with Darrell Ainsworth. Massive players sent to Darrell Ainsworth. I think Sternum are missing him badly, if I'm being honest with you. Bristol Rovers suffered that narrow 2-1 defeat away at Walsall. That could have ended either way, couldn't it? Let's be real. As for this game, I can't really split the two of them, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Definitely one of the standout games of the weekend, in my opinion. Up next, Chesterfield vs Salford. Both of these teams suffered defeats. Salford suffered a 2-0 defeat at home to Grimsby, in which was seen like as a 6-pointer in the race for automatic promotion. So good win for Grimsby there. While Chesterfield suffered quite a shocking defeat, quite a shocking heavy defeat, using 6-2 away at Colchester. Yeah, a bit of a crazy game. And you better hope for Chesterfield's sake that it's just only a pip. It was only a pip, but that's a bad defeat for Chesterfield. Really is a bad defeat. To lose by that amount of goals to a team that were currently, that are in the bottom half of the table, that is quite shocking for Chesterfield. So I do expect a response, but I think there'll be goals here and then. I do think there'll be goals here. Can't split the two of them. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between Chesterfield and Salford. Up next, Quarry versus Walsall. Obviously, Walsall picked up a 2-1 victory over Bristol Rovers. Quarry suffered a 3-1 defeat away at Cambridge. Again, I do fancy Walsall to win this game. I'm going to go for Walsall to get a narrow 2-1 win here against Quarry. Crewe versus Bromley. Bromley are just a hard team to predict, aren't they? Obviously picked up that 3-3 draw against Tranmere. Crewe's result obviously was on the Monday Night Football, wasn't it? Which was a 2-1 win away at Howard. Very good win for Crewe to win at a top place like that. But again, Bromley just one of them teams for me, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one. Fleetwood versus Howard. Howard suffered a narrow 2-1 defeat at home to Crewe, while Fleetwood obviously suffered a defeat to the new manager bounce at Cheltenham Town, Steve Cottrell, who's now back at Cheltenham Town, and Fleetwood suffered a defeat there. It's a new manager bounce, isn't it, at Cheltenham, so it's one of them, isn't it? Not really a surprise of a defeat. For this one, I can't split the two of them. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Fleetwood and Howard. Up next, talking of Cheltenham, Steve Cottrell's era at Cheltenham got off to a good start with a 2-0 win over Fleetwood, and they take on, like I said, manager Sternum at the moment. Obviously, they are without Darrell Ainsworth, as Darrell Ainsworth's there in operation. I think it's operation on his heart. So massive prayers to Darren Ainsworth. Hope it does all well. And I think he's a massive miss. I do think he's a massive miss for Turnham. With Darren Ainsworth, I would have said a Turnham win because of how good of a mindset that he is. But I do think Steve Cottrell will get a result here, in my opinion, with Cheltenham. But I do think it will be a draw. I think his side will pick up a point where Turnham and will go for a 0-0 draw in that one. Up next, Queensbury versus Colchester. Colchester obviously getting that remarkable 6-2 win over Chesterfield. Queensbury getting a 2-0 win over Salford. For some reason, I just feel that's going to be a one-off for Colchester. I am going to go for Queensbury to get a win here. I'm going to go for Queensbury to get a narrow 2-1 win, in my opinion. Shrewsbury versus Cambridge. Cambridge got a 3-1 win against Quarry. Shrewsbury got not a bad point, 0-0 away at Bowell. So it's going to be a tight game, this one. Will be a tight game, but I'm going to go for Cambridge to pick up that narrow 1-0 win away at Shrewsbury. Tranmere versus Barnet. Barnet obviously got a 2-0 win against Appleton. Tranmere picked up a 3-3 draw against Bromley. Tranmere, very hard team to beat when they're at home, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Tranmere and Barnet. And finally, Oldham versus Barrow. Obviously, Barrow picked up that 0-0 draw against Shrewsbury, and Oldham obviously picked up that 3-1 defeat away at Notts County. Obviously, Notts County versus Swindon is obviously the postponed game to the international call-ups. So there's only the 11 games in League 2. But I'm going to go for Oldham 1, Barrow 1. Can't really split the two of them, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. So they're my League 2 predictions for this weekend. Feel free to leave your predictions down below in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.